Imagine this. It's 2 a.m. in Shinjuku, and you're standing in a line that wraps around the block for a bowl of soup. This bowl costs more than your dinner yesterday, and people will argue about it for hours on Reddit. That bowl didn't even exist in Japan 120 years ago, yet today, Tokyo is the ramen capital of the planet. How did a cheap Chinese immigrant dish become the most obsessed over food on Earth? Stick with me, and I'll show you the wild, delicious, sometimes heartbreaking story of Tokyo ramen. Everything starts with China. In the late 1800s, thousands of Chinese immigrants arrived in Yokohama, Kobe, and Nagasaki. They brought wheat noodles and pork broth, something totally different from Japanese soba or udon. For decades, these dishes stayed inside Chinatown, called Shina soba or Chinese noodles, and most Japanese people had never tried them. Then, in 1910, everything changed when a tiny shop called Ramen opened in Asakusa, Tokyo. 12 Chinese chefs started serving soy sauce ramen, or shoyu ramen, to curious Tokyoites. On busy days, they sold 3,000 bowls, proving Tokyo loved ramen and it could be big business. But just as brick-and-mortar ramen was taking off, disaster struck in 1923 when the Great Kanto earthquake leveled Tokyo. Restaurants were gone overnight, leaving people with little but a pot and some noodles. So they put wheels on it. Yatai, mobile food carts, exploded across the city, making ramen street food for the masses. This accident ended up shaping ramen's soul forever. World War II ended, and Tokyo was in ruins, with millions hungry and unemployed. The yatai returned. You needed almost no money to start one, just a cart, a pot, some pork bones, and flour. If you could boil water, you could feed people and your family. Ramen became more than food. It became hope in a bowl, warm, fatty, salty, and cheap, exactly what a freezing, exhausted city needed. Those tiny counters with 8 stools were where salarymen cried into their broth after 16-hour shifts, and lifelong friendships started. That's where Tokyo fell in love with ramen all over again, and it stopped being Chinese soba to become truly Japanese. While Tokyo rebuilt, the rest of Japan started playing with the formula. In 1954, Sapporo chef Morito Omiya mixed miso paste into ramen broth, giving birth to rich, funky miso ramen. In 1947, Kyushu accidentally overcooked pork bones, inventing creamy, white tonkotsu broth. In 1974, Yokohama's Yoshimura-san mixed tonkotsu with chicken and soy sauce, creating Ikiai ramen. And in Tokyo, a tiny shop invented a Bura soba, ramen with zero broth, just oil, sauce, and pure flavor. Suddenly, Japan had dozens of ramen styles, and thanks to bullet trains, people traveled just to try them. By the 80s, Japan was rich, and a new generation of ramen chefs asked, why can't ramen be art? They treated 300 yen street food like kaiseki cuisine, opening shops with 6-month waiting lists. In 1996, 3 legendary shops dropped the double soup bomb, mixing pork bone broth with dried fish or clam broth for insane flavor layers. Toppings went crazy with truffle oil, wagyu beef, and yuzu peel, and noodle texture became a religion. Chefs aged noodles for 35 days, measured water pH, and used custom-milled flour. In 1993, Ikairan invented the solo booth, offering an introvert heaven, just you and the ramen. Suddenly, ramen wasn't just food, it was an experience people would line up 3 hours for. In the 2000s, the world finally noticed, and Michelin started giving stars to ramen shops. Vegan ramen exploded with rich mushroom broths, along with halal ramen and gluten-free noodles. Tokyo became the NASA of ramen. If you want to invent the next big style, you train in Tokyo. Today, you can eat $5 legendary street ramen or $50 truffle wagyu ramen 2 blocks away. Both are real ramen. And the craziest part? The best shops still have 8 stools and a grumpy old man who's been boiling bones for 50 years. The soul never left. So here's the thing about Tokyo ramen. It started as an immigrant's survival food. It survived earthquakes, war, and poverty, and every time life tried to crush it, someone reinvented it, making it deeper, richer, and more mind-blowing. That's why ramen isn't just noodles and broth. It's proof that greatness can come from anywhere. If this story made you hungry, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell. Until then, stay warm, Stay slurpy, and I'll see you in the next one.